what we do is I review them and I answer the questions. We used to go into them in detail. One out of 50 people do the Braveheart Loving Steps. Hey, Sharon, is that true? They don't. If a couple did the couples connection, or if somebody did the mirror work connection with yourself, you change your life. You've all been programmed to suffer in your relationship. I just want to thank you to Jason, the two of you. You're a couple that could be a unicorn. You could be. You could be. You're not going to like this, and you're going to think I'm arrogant. I've only met 3 couples in my whole career that actually love themselves and each other. So you better get it. And that's the truth. Somebody that's on their 3rd course said to me today, why is it so hard for me to love myself? Because you don't want to dishonor, disrespect. Because all your whole upbringing, you respect your parents. You honor your elders. You jam it down your throat. This is for all the children out there. Do not respect your parents if they do not respect you. Respect yourself. This is for all the teenagers out there. Don't disrespect children. Don't disrespect your parents, but don't respect them if they're trying to disrespect you. I haven't met any parents that deserve children, hardly. God knows I didn't deserve them. By the time I woke up, they were already here. I put them all on the couch and I apologized to them. My wife said, you can't do that. You apologize to the kids, they're going to have the power, we're going to lose it. They need to be under our authority. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I apologized to all the kids. Ask Sage. Sage was 5 years old when I did it. And I told them, you're going to be screwed up for the rest of your life from your mother and me. And the reality is that we didn't know we did it, but now I know I did. From that moment on, my kids could tell me anything they wanted. That they had sex, because it wasn't making love. They thought it was, okay? That they did drugs, didn't matter what the drugs were, I wasn't going to get upset. They wrote off a couple of my cars, I wasn't going to get upset. But I wasn't going to let them drive the car anymore, because not for punishment, but I didn't really want them to use my car as a weapon, because they were trying to kill themselves. And they were probably trying to kill themselves with my car because I made them feel that way. And that's the God's truth. And I have no guilt. My kids know I'm here. They come to me when they want to ask something, and when they do, I don't talk to them like a father. I am no longer their father. Because if I was their father, I would disrespect them. I am a spirit partnership with them. Spirit partnership. Don't give me this bullshit anymore. Respect your elders. I'm telling you right now. I respect your elders. My God, all the elders are adulterated. All of them. Find me someone that, guess what, will humble themselves down to a teenager. We're at war with our teenagers. Why? Because our parents were at war with us. Because our parents said when we were younger, I'll give you unconditional love. And then guess what? As soon as you started to think on your own, which is after 7, they gave you conditional love. If you want a dog, buy a dog. A child is not a dog. It's a spirit. I think most adults are very low vibrational entities. Do you know why it's so easy to have children? that there's no guidance, no teaching. That's why we're coming out with the pain-free pregnancy. Because if you don't love yourself and know how to love your partner, then how would you know how to love a child? The world's messed up because of that. And don't give me your religion either. Okay? Most religion will never spare the rod because might spoil the child with love. Don't give me your hardcore upbringing. My dad brought me up this way and I'm going to be unconscious and bring you up that way. I need to be hard on them because the world is cruel. The world's not cruel. You are. When I stopped being cruel to myself and my children, the world was beautiful. Isn't that something? Listen to me. Those psychos that want us to wear diapers on our face, that want us to take the V, that say that when you've got the C, it's the end of your life, it's a death sentence, okay? That antibiotics are the cure for everything, okay? They want you to whip your pants down and have a child when you're still disrespecting yourself, because then you'll disrespect them. And then if you disrespect yourself, are you eating right? When's the last time that you were disrespecting yourself and you made a salad? You didn't. You went to alcohol or drugs, or you ate junk. Every time you're low vibrational, you go to low vibrational foods and you're a low vibrational being. The majority of the population, okay, all right, is trying to kill themselves, so they're trying to kill everyone around them, and they won't tell you that. Do you have good bowel movements? Oh, yeah, sure I do. Do you eat well? Oh, yes, I do. You think you have good health? Oh, yeah, I do. Isn't it great when your subconscious talks for you? Isn't it great? Your subconscious cannot talk for you until you have done whole life coach certification 3 times. And if you haven't done something like that, you're not a health practitioner. Oh, yes, I am. I got this degree. Really? If you don't have unconditional love for yourself and you don't now know how to train your patients, not treat them, then you're mistreating them and you're toxic. 99% of all natural health practitioners out there, 99%, okay, all right, are superficial and twisted. I only say this because guess what? Nobody's getting the service that they believe they should get. I'm here to serve people, but if I'm going to serve people, it better be bringing them in a higher vibration, nutritionally, physically, emotionally, and I better teach them first and foremost how to feed their spirit. God. First 2 days we were doing things here, so many people were upset because it was different. It's like, oh my God, please, God, just get me to the 3rd day. I would rather have 100 children do a tantrum than an adult. I would rather look after 100 children than a couple of adults. I am an adult. It's hard enough looking after myself. You know, I just want to say this to all you adults. I honor you. I do a course how often? It keeps me on course. I don't know how you got this far. You are not stupid. You are not evil. You are not bad. You have no way of rising on this planet. If I have to have one more spiritual, oh, I'm very spiritual. Hi, Dr. Wolf. You know what? I can see into the future and I'm very spiritual. And there's a change coming, okay, where there will be peace and love all over the world. Okay, thanks for calling. I get that once a week, every 2 weeks. Are you like out of your skull? Hey, Dr. Wolf, they're deciding to change the rules in Monopoly. It's never going to change. Only you can change. I don't care what your training is. If your training is me, you take from me and you learn from me, and then you get away from me. And you go look for someone else that can train you better than me. You go look for something different. If you're not looking for something different and looking for change in your life every day and bringing up your vibration higher every day, what the heck are you doing here? I don't care what you say. Jesus didn't get out of this place, okay, for only one reason, that Jesus got out of here. To save us? No, to save himself. But say whatever you want, do whatever you want. He had the key to set himself free. 40 days of meditation. He wasn't on a fast. He was meditating and levitating and bringing his vibration up. He knew that was the key to get out of here, by feeding the invisible, his spirit, to get closer to that which we call Creator. Oh, people aren't going to like me now. Whether you believe it or not, I admire that person more than any other being that's ever been on this planet. Here I go. This is going to do it. This should probably destroy my reputation. Jesus does not save me. I save myself. But I've learned from beings that have been here like that, and thank God, because they saved my butt, because I've got something to follow, a playbook. I save myself at every moment. Nobody's coming to save me. And I did not come here a sinner. And this is what we do to our children. My God, children, you know what? How many children have been honored and respected as spirit beings to come and teach their parents, because they are the mirror of their parents' actions. And so, let's just take a look at the population. The most abuse that ever happens is in the home. The most physical and emotional abuse that ever happens on this planet is in the home. But you go ahead, bring unconditional love to your home, and you won't have any problems with the rest of your life. Bring unconditional love to yourself first and foremost, then bring it to your home. I've decided that I'm going to talk about the way I am from my deep inner soul, my heart. And if everybody walks away and never wants to take my course, I was meant to be on course. And I'm going to stay on course. You think I'm going to listen to the majority in the herd and listen to their story? When is the majority and the herd story, no matter what the religion is or what the faith is or what the group is, ever been right? When has the majority ever been right? Oh, are things in their game right? Absolutely. But everybody goes in and goes, well, you should go shopping. You should be making up your own story. If you're buying into someone else's story totally, then you're a moron. You're a moron. To buy into my story completely means you want to be me. Why would you ever want to do that? You need to find your authentic self. That was the name of the game down here. To be distracted, to be disturbed, to be contaminated, to be conflicted, to be corrupted, and then find yourself. That's the only game that's going on here. The game isn't to go to war with yourself, your wife, your husband, your children, the world. I save myself at every moment. I save myself at every moment. And then I use the teachings of my father, who was a born-again Christian pastor, carpenter. Who was he trying to pretend to be? He was never happy. But I've taken a lot from him and kept it, but I'm not going to keep it all. Take a look at your father and your mother and take a look at the rest of the people. How are they? Are most people blissful, joyful? Is it okay with you if I just make up my own story? Don't care. Bugger off. I don't need your approval. And you don't need my approval to fall in love with yourself, to forgive yourself instantly. If you learned from that lesson, why should you burn from that lesson? I don't know. In religion, we get to go to heaven or hell. There's no in between. We're not allowed to think about it. And we don't even know what the rules are. Do I get to get into heaven or am I going to hell? I couldn't play that game anymore because I didn't want to beat my head on the pillow every night to try to figure it out. So I gave it up. Take a look at your core beliefs and then you'll find out why you're rotten to the core. If your beliefs are so good, then why don't you have wealth and health? Oh, because money's dirty. Well, they won. So the 1% of the 1% actually got you to believe that money's dirty. Meanwhile, it's energy. I hope you know if I didn't make money, there wouldn't be a tent, there wouldn't be this rug, there wouldn't be all these video people, there wouldn't be a library. I've got the biggest self-help, self-care library in the world for free. If I didn't have that, oh, he's so greedy. I live in a little a condo, not even a condo, what the heck is it? It's a hotel room for the last year and a half. Oh yeah, I'm Mr. Selfish. You don't know me. Give me a fig leaf. Give me nature. That's all I need is a fig leaf because nobody really wants to see the junk in my trunk. The reality is I don't need anything because I am everything. Oh my God, how selfish is he? I hope he burns in hell. He just said he's everything. Well, I better be everything to myself. And I better treat myself like it's everything. Remember something. I'm honoring that which created the universe when I totally love and honor myself because guess what? I just love this. That which created us totally loved us and we were created in the vision of that. Oh, really? Then why am I not allowed to totally love myself and I'm selfish? Make up your mind. You're a little confused. You're a little confused. Oh, I like his teachings, but he's very, very self-centered. Absolutely. And if I wasn't, I wouldn't be able to protect myself from your stuff. And you're not after me. But we can't get together without taking in each other's ions. Negative ions are good for you, but there is negative ions that aren't. If you hate yourself and you come into my field, I'm getting those ions. So is it okay that I don't really hang around with you? Because I'm going to protect my vibration. Jesus was a high vibrational being. Buddha was a high, I could keep, there's a list this long. Pick your savior. Oh, wait a minute. I think I'll pick me first and foremost. Thank you very much. Oh, now I'm going to burn in hell. Okay, all right. Why don't you all just get together, get down on your knees, beg God, please, that I go to hell. I'm not going anywhere. I say these things because I'm here to crack your coconut open because we only got what? A day and a half. So guess what? I'm going to be an arrogant, self-centered prick, or I just pricked you enough that you're going to go, yeah, I don't have to get rid of my beliefs. I just have to believe in myself. I don't have to stop going to this group. I just need to go in there like a buffet. I mean, if you go to a buffet, do you eat everything? Do you want to make yourself sick? Well, why don't you just go into your whatever group and eat it all? You will make yourself sick. Because what works for another doesn't work for another. So you go in there and do some tweaking. And then that group better allow you to tell your own story, or they don't know what unconditional love is. They're just conditional, so I call bullshit. Uh-huh. Don't you rock my world, Daryl. You paid me to rock your world. You paid me to crack the coconut. Best thing I ever did was tell my children that I was full of dysfunctional belief systems and that the world is full of them. And if you don't learn how to love yourself, you're going to be desperate for love, and you will buy into any story because you can't live without love. Emotional beings, that is where we become slaves. You will always be a slave to this planet unless you unconditionally love yourself. If you conditionally love yourself, you're going to be looking for it from someone else. And even if you don't believe their story, you're going to take their story and bullshit them. Do you know how many couples are together that wish they weren't? Because they were so desperate for love. God, will He love me? I'll be whatever He needs me to be because I can't live like this. It's not your fault, but guess what? All of these systems set you up. So now you're not thankful, so now you go around using everybody else to fill up your heart every day. And that's why couples get into trouble. That's why families get into trouble. As soon as the teenagers see that you've got conditional love, not unconditional, they go looking outside the family for unconditional love, which somebody else. Hey, Diane, if you want to hang around for a second, you can listen to my conversation, but we're live and we got 25 practitioners, or you can hang up and I'll call you back later.
Yeah, just call me. Thanks.
So guess what? You wanted to survive. You had to break away from your parents because your parents didn't have unconditional love for themselves or each other. You just went out looking for it. Oh my God. The first time I fell in love, boom. Best drug in the world. Didn't know I was supposed to be self-serve, right? I told you, it took me 5 years to get over it. Yeah. I couldn't even have another relationship. And it wasn't, I could have had a lot of them. I thought I was going to die. I could not go in there again because I really thought I was going to die. And if I wouldn't have been young, I would have had a heart attack or a stroke. Because the heart is the emotional recorder of everything. Why do you think Jason's heart is about a ½ inch higher, which is on his left side, and he's not left-handed? It should be higher this side because it's predominant, and he's a big boy. And you know that if you ever said, hey, is anybody going to help me with these 500 bales of hay? Me! And then the reality is now he's a ½ inch, I'll show you, or higher, maybe 3/4 of an inch higher on this side because he had to wall off his heart because he wasn't heart smart because nobody taught him unconditional love. He's been feeding off his wife like a parasite. But they're both parasites. What if they filled each other up and they shined a light on each other? Oh my God. When there would be big drama, trauma, and conflict in the world, they go, we got this, babe. Yeah, I know that, sweetheart. I mean, how many turkeys do you see flying high? Okay, they just gobble, gobble, gobble. You only see one eagle or two together ever. Let's see when they have so much faith in themselves and each other that they come and lock their claws together and you see them falling out of the sky and they know that they can trust themselves and each other and nobody else. You can't trust anybody else. You don't distrust them, but you know that your brothers and sisters that you love unconditionally have bad beliefs. They're not bad people. To murder anyone and say that you're trying to what? Be a hero for your country is disgusting. But I'm not going to sit there and hate that person because that person actually believes they're protecting their country. And why doesn't somebody tell me what war did we fight okay, that it wasn't the Rothschilds or Rockefellers that started it and gave a BS story that we went out and killed our brothers and sisters. And when you murder someone, you get jumped by an entity. And that's what they call what? What do they call that? PTSD. It's actually shell shock. But they took the word shell shock, and they made it PTSD because they don't want shell shock, because that's exactly what happens over there. You get shell shock. Emotional, spirited human beings cannot spill blood without an entity jumping them. That person, I don't know what's wrong with him. He wants to kill himself. He wants to do drugs. He's on alcohol. He can't get his life together. You murder someone and you will be jumped. You can get rid of that entity. I'm telling you, you can. But you have to wake up to the fact what you did. God, can we just turn on a movie where religion isn't justifying the murdering of people? Can we turn on a movie where governments are saying they have to go to another country and kill people that don't have any money at all and are trying to survive over there? Can we just stop it? Can you stop telling yourself that as a parent that you know better than that little new spirit? Can you stop treating your children like a dog? And you teach your dogs better because your dogs will do exactly what you say. But because they actually have a brain and they're trying to hang on to their spirit and they want to be respected, but we will disrespect them because we were disrespected. Did you get that? And so goes the family curse. Now, I don't expect you to like even 80%, but if you got 2% of what I just said here, I'm successful. That was the exclamation mark, because I'm going to stand in my power no matter what you think of me. I'm not telling you that everything I say is right for you. I'm trying to teach you that if I'm willing to go out on the edge of the cliff, jeopardize my financial future for truth, I'm not jeopardizing anything. We use Jesus as an example because it stands out the most. But there have been so many people that stood up for truth. He got nailed to the cross because he was telling the truth. You're not going to get nailed to the cross. You're not going to get away with it. We have the internet. And then guess what? Don't tell me the story hasn't been changed. Don't tell me that every book in the world hasn't been touched and rewritten, because it all has. Oh, no. No, with our belief, that book has never been touched or altered by anyone. God would never let that happen. I'm trying to give you some expansion if you're not expanding your mind. But guess what? Whatever book it is you read, go in there and get the gold nuggets. But don't come out feeling guilty or like a sinner or a low vibrational being. What good does that do for your disease and the people that have diseases in your family? Bring me a higher love or don't bring me anything. You may not know this, but if you all rallied together and said, no more Dr. Wolf, I would go get Lori and we would head off to the rainforest for a year. That fast. I'm not going to go or do where I'm not needed. But I do know one thing. Every time I have a class, I have at least 1/3 having a tantrum for 3 days. And they're not having a tantrum. Am I out of my skull to go in there and judge? And you think I'm judging, but I'm trying to crack the coconut, trying to test you. Because you get what? Complacent. You're complacent. And I want you to get what you deserve. I don't want you to be me. I don't want you to believe in me. I don't want you to believe in my stuff. I want you to believe in you. You don't get that, do you? God, why is he trying to make us believe in his stuff? No, I'm not. When you leave here, why don't you go do a little meditation or a little prayer? I only tried to teach you one thing. Unconditional love for yourself. Rewrite the story. I didn't say use anything from my story. You leave my story alone. I'll deal with my story. You deal with your story, but find your brave heart and go in and deal with that story. Don't stop doing what you're doing. Whatever you found sustenance in, be there, but observe it without judgment. And don't buy into everything. Don't buy into me. God, I told you to challenge me the first day. I said, challenge me, challenge me, challenge me. Become a detective in life. Anybody that you think is an authority over you, make them they need to earn your trust. And it's the other way around as well. You don't believe anything I say. But guess what? If I repeat it long enough and strong enough, you will. Well, that's kind of proven, isn't it? Look at the shape of most of you. Because you've been listening to the same BS belief systems, most of you are in terrible shape. But you're not. Are you in good shape? Well, yeah, for somebody my age, yeah. Most of the people your age are leaving the planet. Wow. Don't brag about that too much. Why don't you be 60 years old? If you were 60 and they said you look like you're 40, that's where we would be 75 years ago. Why don't you go back and look? Why don't you go back and look at a picture on the beach in the 70s? You could not find hardly one overweight person. Now it looks like all the whales of the world have beached themselves. And you might say I'm picking on you, but no. This is how we can be programmed. You're blowing up. But you blow up inside before outside, and then you grow all this extra fat to create a bumper because you don't have the right tools to be able to operate here and be able to know that most of the stuff is none of your business. The only thing that's your business is unconditional love for yourself and your family and shining that light. You're going to go up and down. I see you when you're way up here. This is the lowest I've ever seen you. You're running a program that will finally kill you. That's my gift to you today. It will finally kill you. You go home and put stickers all around on all the walls and every room. I am beautiful. I am love. 3, 2, 1, I got this. I'll hold the line. Do you ever notice? You hold the line real tight, and then you try to kill yourself. Well, at least you're shaking your head up and down because you know I'm right. And anybody here, you could be numbed out, as numb as you want, and you can take a look and see that when somebody's destroying themselves. Why? The family curse. I'm not scared to bring it up. Just know this. You keep recycling the same beliefs, you're going down. It's going to get worse and worse and worse till you're going to be on their drugs. Okay? Well, so when you're younger, you have a tantrum, but that's only because you're acting like mom and dad. Nothing else. Thank you very much. Then when you're a teenager, you have a mood disorder. Okay? All right? And then when you're older, you have a nervous system disorder that gets drugs. And it's all just a play. Why don't you go to a big pharma meeting? Okay, gentlemen, this is what we need to do. It's at every pharma meeting. Everyone. First rule, if you're not doing your job unless they're 10 years old and they're on one drug, 20 they're on 2, 30 they're on 3, 40 they're on 4, and 50 they're on 5, 60 they're on 6, and 70 they're on 7. Why don't you go and just prove me wrong right now? And guess what? The drugs, which are petroleum, which are toxic, was to numb you out so that they could pull your pants down and do anything they want to you. But it wasn't that. They work for an evil entity that is feeding on the spirit of human beings. And they feed that entity that religious people call the devil. And they feed it to it. Monsters, Inc. is not a cartoon. Monsters, Inc. is a real life thing. The Matrix is not a movie. It's real. The deal is on this planet. And if you want to know the only deal that was made with the creator of everything, you can poison them, you can murder them, you can torture them, but you have to tell them what you're going to do prior in movies, in newspapers. You've got to get the word out. Long as you told everyone you're coming for them, you can do whatever you want to them, because their lesson as being a spirit being in the universe is guess what? If they were to wake up, protect themselves, bring up their vibration, they win. But if they don't want to do that, you're allowed to eat them. Now you can say, what a bunch of BS, Daryl. Well, anybody, any pastors out there, any priests? Let's do a show. And we'll call it, is Dr. Wolf going to be in heaven or hell? Now, let me tell you something right now. I know what's going on down here. I believe in God, which is different than everyone else's belief, and everybody else's belief in God is different than everyone else, whether you want to believe it or not. More than all the religious people. Because I'm not scared to open my mouth in truth, because guess what? I'm going to live, and I'm going to humble myself down and be as close to that as I can. Oh, do I need another headache or trouble or somebody coming after me like the government or other stuff? I got enough going on, right? With my big mouth, it's always happening. Boom, boom, boom. But after a while, it doesn't matter. Because it's always going to go boom, 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 okay, if you want to fill the room with unconditional love. It's going to go boom, boom, boom. And I got to tell you, I am not in a hurry to go anywhere. I will live until I'm at least, I don't know, I keep getting 96, 98. That's long enough, thank you. I'm already trying to get the teeth fixed. God, pretty soon I'll be on soup. Okay, listen. But if I only have one more day, it'll be my way. It'll be the Braveheart way. All right, let's take a 5-minute, 10-minute break. We're going to come back and we're going to play Name That Disease. Okay, thank you.